Wait, how? What? How can there be two separate valuations for the same property when the appraiser that is valuing it for the government purposes of paying taxes on the property, but then when you go to the fucking bank, you could just like say it's literally like 100x, 200 and what was it? No, it was 2,300% more. Trump unleashes on rogue judge. We're skipping all that. Trump torches operative judge during trial. This judge.
The court in Manhattan is in a recess right now in Trump's civil case, but the former president did stop to talk to the cameras on the way to lunch. Let's listen to what he said.
This is a disgraceful trial put forward by an attorney general, Mr. Rupp. We have murders going all over the city, all over the state at a record level. It's an epidemic, and they waste their time on this with banks that were very happy. They got all their money back. They weren't defrauded. I've been defrauded.
Oh, that's awesome. He's like, they should investigate the banks.
Judge, the rule that a building, that a property is worth $18 million, when in fact it's worth over $1 billion, probably $1.5 billion. It may be worth anything. When many properties.
Wait, why does he say it can be worth anything? Oh my God, is he going to publicly be like, I can sell this to Saudi Arabia for any money, any number I want? Is he literally just about to be like, listen, I could sell this for infinite money to Saudi Arabia? I know he said it, guys. Saying it in deposition behind closed doors is very different than saying it to Fox News publicly. Understand something, okay? He said it in deposition, okay? The only evidence we have of him saying that is in the footnotes that the judge wrote, okay? There is a very, like, you know about it because I've been talking about it nonstop. The average American is not familiar that Donald Trump said, I have an unlimited line of credit with Saudi Arabia. They'll buy my properties for however much I want. Okay? Because while there is truth to what he is saying, I don't think that that would be well received by the broader majority.
Which I sold are worth much more than were listed in the financial statements. By double and triple. What do you have to do? And we're wasting our time on this trial with a Democrat judge from the clubhouses. It's a disgrace. They ought to look for the murderers and the killers that are all over New York killing people and the violent.
Dude, there's so many murders and killers let loose in New York that are killing people. Yeah. It's crazy because, like, the murder rate is lower than fucking, like, South Carolina. But, you know, they're doing it. I promise. They're out there doing it. The violent crimers, dude. They're fucking out there. Oh, yeah, they're called cops. True.
The crime that's being committed in our city and our state is disgraceful. And we're going to be here for months with a judge that already made up his mind. It's ridiculous. He's a Democrat judge. He's an operative, and it's ridiculous. Other than that, things went very well.
What are you going to have for lunch? Will you come back after lunch, Mr. Trump?
Probably.
Former president saying he'll probably come back after lunch. He is hot. I mean, this is hitting.
Whoa! Okay, keep it in your fucking pants, Silver Fox.
Him where it hurts the most, but he sees this as being so extraordinarily unfair.
Pretty defiant posture from him, and a little bit different than when you saw him in some of these federal cases. This seems pretty clearly to him like an opportunity to galvanize his base, and he's going to capitalize on that.
Well, I think a lot of people are looking at this, and they're looking at what the judge valued Mar-a-Lago at. Now, it's true that in 1985, Trump bought Mar-a-Lago for way less than its asking price. I think that the Post family wanted $21 million, and he got it for somewhere between $5 and $7. But that piece of property in Palm Beach now is worth a lot more when you look at comparable properties. I mean, smaller houses on less property that don't even have ocean or.
It is not it is not residential real estate. You cannot use Mar-a-Lago as residential real estate. This is not my opinion on the matter. This is the Trump opinion on the matter. You cannot use Mar-a-Lago due to land deed restrictions as real estate. Therefore, you cannot price Mar-a-Lago as real estate. This distinction is very important. Why? Because this important distinction has allowed Trump to use Mar-a-Lago as a depreciating asset year over year while keeping its valuation at $20 million when declaring it to the IRS. Okay? So I need y'all to understand that everybody involved in this matter is aware of it. Okay? Everybody involved in this matter, including the Trump organization, members, people that are working within the Trump organization, people that are on Fox News, every single person that covered the news story a couple of years back about why Donald Trump pays so little in taxes in an effort to defend Donald Trump already did their due diligence and found out that Trump uses real estate depreciation as a way to lower his tax burden. Now, if I had enough time, I would go back and find these exact same Fox News commentators, including maybe even Tim Pool, who has spoken about the Trump Mar-a-Lago property value. I would literally go back in time and find them, clips of them, defending Donald Trump lowering his tax burden by openly saying, he uses his land use, his land deed restrictions as a way to lower his taxes. Okay? That's what he did. Those are not how you evaluate the value of financial disclosures. If you want to claim it as something other than cost, you should get an arm's length appraiser to do an appraisal. Well, if you're Trump, you don't have to.
Intercoastal waterway frontage are going for $35 million. Now, it's zoned currently as a club, so that may devalue it a little bit, but it used to be a private residence. Then he got it rezoned as a club, so you got to probably rezone it back. But it's got to be worth more than $18 million.
It even seems like on the details, he's really making this about the politics of the case and is able to do that because he thinks that this is a pretty open and shut thing for him in terms of being able to prove his point that this is a political prosecution and, is improper.
You look at that judge and you also look at the way that he is comporting himself. You get a sense that this could be over for.
He can rezone it and sell it as residential. Can he undo his deed? I doubt it. If you're saying the American, any American authorities are corrupt and they would allow him to rezone fucking a 2-acre property after 3 decades of ownership that specifically stopped him from doing so, I don't know. DeSantis will block it. No, he could rezone. The problem is he didn't prior. Yeah, it doesn't matter because it's not currently rezoned. And you can't, guys, on the one hand use your land deed restrictions specifically as a mechanism to lower your tax burden while simultaneously going to the banks and being like, well, what if I actually rezoned it? And then it was worth $1 billion. And without doing it, okay? Without doing that. You can't do both of those things at the same time. As the president, he rezoned it with his mind. Yeah, he did. He rezoned it in his mind. He declassified the classified documents in his mind. That's
for
it.
Trump in this particular courtroom, but he'll definitely appeal it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it seems that former President Trump took a very short lunch, and now he's back in front of the cameras in the courthouse. Let's listen in.
As I say, murders are going on as you stand here, and they're wasting everybody's time for many months on this case where banks got paid a fortune, loan money got paid money back, didn't even need their money. They built a great company. We have to go through this. So this just broke, but before I discuss that, why are we trying a case that the appellate division of New York State has just ruled recently that we won 80% of our case? And this judge refuses to acknowledge the ruling, which is very plain for all to see.
Dude, God, this is perfect. Inconvenience Donald Trump popping off without the bully pulpit present is my favorite Trump. I've decided. Like, dude, honestly, if he just had a television show, I think he would be happy and everyone would be happy. Like, because everyone will watch it. He's just the best. He's so good. When he's like bitchy and angry and like yelling, he is literally the best. No bully pulpit. No actual legitimate power. Win-win situation. Just give him a fucking reality TV show, dude. It's perfect. He's the white man's Wendy Williams, okay? 100%. Old Apprentice episodes would be such great react content. Dude, those things are like, I think those things are in a fucking vault, brother. They, if I even thought about reacting to it, NBC would come down so hard up my ass, dude. I would actually get permabanned off the platform just by thinking about it. Wendy Williams, the white man's Wendy Williams. Okay. True.
We won, as you know, it had to do with Ivanka, and it had to do with other things. It had to do with the statute of limitations, where they wanted to go back to 200 years ago, 500 years ago. It was limited, very much limited, and it amounted to about 80% of the case was won by us in the appellate division. And this rogue judge, a Trump hater, the only one that hates Trump more is his associate up there, his person that works with him. And she's screaming into his ear on almost every time we ask him.
A Trump hater?
A disgrace. You want to know the truth?
He's right.
Disgrace. So this rogue judge refuses to acknowledge the fact that we won 80% of this case in the appellate division, including statute of limitations. You know, in the statute of limitations, you have a period of time. He wants to go back so far that nobody's ever even heard of such a ridiculous thing. So we won the case in the appellate division, and this judge refuses to acknowledge the appellate division, meaning he's got contempt for his own court system. Nobody's ever seen that before, where he refuses to even talk about it or acknowledge it. And the Attorney General is she's a corrupt person, a terrible person, driving people out of New York, number one. That's number one. Number two, it just came out a few minutes ago where Palm Beach County, the people that do this, agree with us 100%, and they say the judge is wrong. The judge is wrong in his ruling. He valued Mar-a-Lago at $18 million, and it's worth $1 billion, maybe $1.5 billion. And you saw where various properties.
He's right, dude. Maybe $1.5 billion, maybe $2 billion.
That we have that are valued in the financial statements, which is totally subject to the clause that you've all been hearing about doing buyer beware, as they call it. But this just came out. Error in New York civil fraud case against Trump is flagged by industry insiders who say valuation of Mar-a-Lago cited by judge is based on a misunderstanding of basic real estate practice. So they're saying the judge has misunderstood basic real estate practice. I say they're wrong about that. He didn't misunderstand it. This is a rigged court. He's put there to do a job on Trump. Now, this comes from highly respected officials in Palm Beach County. Also, apparent mistake by Judge Angoran surfaces in the use of a Palm Beach County appraisal of Mar-a-Lago that, an expert says, is detached from the true value of the property. Now, I don't know the...
Wait, what? Wait, how? What? How can there be two separate valuations for the same property when the appraiser that is valuing it for the government purposes of paying taxes on the property, but then when you go to the fucking bank, you could just like say it's literally like 100x 200 and what was it? No, it was 2,300% more. I'm a realtor, and someone as big as Trump can pay off an appraiser 100%. People do it all the time. Yes, but the difference is like the part that is an issue. Okay, there's usually a difference between property tax appraisal and market price, but not to the tune of 20x. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, what? Okay. What Trump is claiming on the property tax appraisal and market price is common practice. It's just not the difference between $76 million, which wasn't even the tax appraisal, by the way. Tax appraisal, I think he kept it at 20 or 18 or something. But like $76 million versus $700 million. Okay? That is fucking nuts. Trump is 100. Oh, by the way, I don't know. I mean, it is like a lib ass judge, but I do still think Trump will probably win this. I mean, I guess if he had a jury, he probably would have, but without the jury, I don't know. And that doesn't mean that he's not doing fraud. It just, that's not how this works. It's like saying on a home loan, you make $750K and you actually make $75K. Is all of real estate valuation completely made up for capital owners? Am I crazy? I mean, yeah, pretty much. It's in fucking Florida. No way it's worth $1.5 billion. Tax appraisals usually have true cash value, which is the selling price in a normal market. Okay, but you also didn't mention tax appraisals usually 1/20th the true cash value. You said half. And Trump isn't even operating on the true cash value. He's like, if the true cash value is half, like you said, of the or double the amount of the tax appraisal, what he showed to the bank is fucking 10x that. You know what I mean? Like, he 2x'd it, which is common practice when you're doing appraisal, which is fine. I mean, it's not fine, but like, I guess it's fine in the eyes of the law. But then he 10x'd it when showing it he 10x'd it when he was showing it to the bank.
People that we're talking about in Palm Beach County, but they saw this egregious trial, this horrible, horrible trial going on, while at the same time people are being murdered right outside of the streets, and nothing happens to those people that do the murdering. They go after Trump. So this was just released by Palm Beach County, that the judge in this case is wrong. And by the way, he's talking about...
Dude, this is so fire because, like, the judge does still have all the power in the situation. And all he's doing is basically going on TV and being like, well, guess what, judge? In the eyes of this random guy who wrote an op-ed, you're wrong. What do you have to say to that, judge? It's like, what? Who cares, dumbass? What the fuck are you talking about? It's so stupid. Go ahead, dude. Attack the judge more on a case where there's not even a fucking jury. That's so sick.
So they're explaining to him that he's wrong. Here's another one just came out. New York v. Trump could set precedent for the use of New York's overweening executive law. One doesn't have to be a lawyer to see the danger to anyone doing business in the Empire State. Anybody that does business in New York State is crazy. When you have a radical left attorney general like Letitia James, who's a disgrace to our country, who got elected on the fact that she's going to take down President Trump. We're going to take him down. She knew nothing about me. But she got elected on that basis. And we have others likewise. Take a look at what's going on in Georgia. Take a look at Jack Smith. Take a look at these people. This is called election interference, and worse than that, really much worse than that. And you don't get much worse than election interference, especially we're talking presidential election of 2024. So...
Dude, he's so mad. I love seeing him mad. I can't be alone on this. Like, even though it's like 1p right now, I don't know. It makes me so happy seeing him just angry. He gets so cute. He gets so fucking cute when he's mad. Like,
This judge should change his ruling.
Because this op-ed says so. The Palm Beach courtesan, or whatever the fuck he's holding up that he has a printout of, said the judge is wrong. So the judge should change his ruling. Oh! He's like a baby. He's like a fucking angry baby, dude.
County said he was totally wrong, and he was ruling based on them. He ruled we didn't even have a chance to.
This is the best his lawyers came up with. Hello. The lawyers do not control the show outside of the courtroom. It's the Trump show, baby. That's number one. Number two, his fucking hot-ass lawyer forgot to request a jury for the trial. So he's already, like, doubly cooked. Okay? Fucking gamer-ass lawyer, dude. Couldn't game the goddamn system. Yeah, too busy grinding leagues. Still fucking stuck in ELO hell. So he's cooked.
Testify. I got a call last week. Sir, we lost part of the case. I said, the trial didn't even start. You know, the trial starts, I guess, today. He ruled that we lost a big part of the case because he's a Democrat club politician. He's a Democrat operative, and he's a disgrace to people that call themselves judges. And I hope my lawyers go in, and I hope they fight him very hard, because this guy's getting away with murder. And his clerk should not be allowed to be in his ear on every single...
Her GTRP is leaking into a real-world job. Yeah, this guy's getting away with murder, which, of course, he's also not prosecuting. There's a lot of murders happening in New York right now. So many murders, and they're purposely not fucking prosecuting those murder charges.
Question. You take a look at what's happening with her. She hates Trump more than he does. So that's where it is. We have 80% of this trial has been won. In June, they came down, the end of June, with a decision. Very powerful decision. And it said, on statute of limitations and just about everything else, did you say approximately 80% of the trial? Attorneys, is that right? Approximately 80% of the trials won. He refuses to acknowledge his own appellate division. And I think it's a disgrace to our country. And somebody has to fight, because if you don't fight, our country's just going to go down the tube. This is election interference. This guy's a highly partisan person, and we can't let this stuff happen. So you should ask yourselves as professionals, I have a lot of respect for you, not all of you, but a lot of you. Why is it that he didn't honor the decision of the appellate? And by the way, I believe it was a unanimous decision, right? It's a 5-0 decision, unanimous decision. And he said, I'm not going to honor it. Let's go to trial. This is a judge that should be disbarred. This is...
It's wild that, like, these same courts gave Steven Donziger a contempt of court, like a bullshit contempt of court violation that actually imprisoned him under false pretense. And yet, this guy can just go outside and still be within earshot of the fucking judge and just, like, yap and say whatever the fuck he wants. You know what I mean? Like, this is a moment where you could technically hit him with a fucking contempt. He just yapping around, dude. Throw him! Lock him up! These fucking Rethuglicans, dude. They got no respect for the law, brother. You know what I'm saying? Lock him up! Sick and tired of these Rethuglicans, okay? With no respect for the fucking law. I say law and order. Law and order. Lock him up. Lock his ass up.
Office. This is a judge that some people say could be charged criminally for what he's doing. He's interfering with an election, and it's a disgrace. Thank you very much.
Yeah, he's a walking, talking contempt of court. All right, speaking of contempt of normal processes,